Hi there, and welcome to Ask the Chiropractor, your source for ultimate health, healing, and chiropractic-related information. I'm Dr. Adam Rodnick out of Commerce Township, Michigan. We're here with our two wonderful guests today. We have Melinda Schwach, who is a health and happiness coach, and Ruben Rubenstein. Great to have you both today.
Thank you.
What was wrong? Hi there, and welcome to Ask the Chiropractor, your source for ultimate health, healing, and chiropractic-related information. We're here with our two wonderful guests today. We have Melinda Schwach, who is a health and happiness coach, and with chiropractic expert Ruben Rubenstein. Great to have you both today.
Thank you.
So tell me, Melinda, so what inspired you to get into the type of work that you do today?
Well, I always loved to help people, and helping them gave me such joy. And I realized that people were getting really confused about what to eat and how to move and what to do to make themselves truly happy. So that's what started my journey.
And what made you, Ruben, get into the type of work that you do today?
Well, I grew up in the profession. My father was a chiropractor. I grew up I was homeschooled, so I was always at the office, and I just saw the wonderful results that chiropractic gave to his patients and to the world and the community. So since I was a little kid, I always wanted to be a chiropractor.
And as you're saying, Melinda, you know, a lot of people just don't know how to be healthier, do want to be healthier, but don't even know where to get started. You know, you hear the word wellness kind of thrown around a lot, but most people have no idea where to get started. And if you look at the numbers, it's really shocking to see what percentage of our population is obese, is on multiple medications, is unhealthy, has heart disease, developing cancers constantly. It's really incredible to see the percentage of the United States that is living like that, isn't it?
Yes, it's really disheartening. And it's sad because it can really just be simple. Just to simply start moving and making better choices, more better choices than bad choices when they eat.
We're going to talk a little bit today about some simple things that people can do just to get started. If they don't know anything about being healthier, we're going to talk about some simple things that they can do. And like you said, moving. That's just really important. That most people think of, if you're not going to the gym every day, every other day, and pushing weights and grunting really hard and dropping the weights on the floor, you're not exercising and you're not working out. You're not going to be healthy. And that's not the case, is it?
No, not at all. Just simply finding the favorite things that people like to do, like walking. Walking is incredible. It can really help with everything. And because it's something that you love to do, you're more apt to do it.
Absolutely. And I always encourage people to do little things that they can anytime, just to get a little more cardiovascular workout or anaerobic workout. Whether it's, if you're parking to go to work every day, if you park a few spaces farther, just to get a little bit extra walk. Take the stairs instead of taking the elevator. You can do a whole lot with just doing a little bit. And imagine doing that every single day, taking the stairs. Well, now over the course of the year, you just did hundreds of flights of stairs that could be great for your body without even thinking about it, without taking any more time hardly out of your day, without having to go to the gym or anything like that. There's so much that we can do just at home. There's, people can just watch YouTube videos for different exercise classes, all sorts of different things that people don't think about as big of a time commitment or to get started with. I always encourage people as well to do even passive resistance exercises. People can literally be driving your car, tighten up their abdominal muscles, tighten up their pectoral muscles, tighten up the biceps and triceps, and actually get a nice little passive resistance workout that can even elevate the heart rate to some degree and be good for our cardiovascular system without even thinking about it while they're driving to work in the morning, which they do every morning anyway.
Absolutely.
So what are some other things that people can do at home that are easy, starts to being healthier and moving?
Sure. Well, one of my favorites is to turn on my favorite radio station and just start dancing. Dancing, it's incredible how it makes you feel so happy, and it gets your heart moving, and then you kind of maybe learn some new dance moves or create them. How fun is that?
Absolutely, that's awesome. And there are so many studies now that actually show that exercise has better results with depression than even sometimes medication can.
Yes, absolutely.
It's really incredible that actually people feel better from moving. And so, yeah, like I love what you said, that think of things that you like to do, whether it's walking, whether it's dancing, whether it's playing sports. Myself, I play sports regularly. I love playing racquetball, I love playing basketball, and it's great exercise, but fun as well. Absolutely. So we're going to roll a little video clip. It's going to show a small series of exercises we like to call spinal hygiene exercises. As a chiropractor, we're concerned with overall motion and exercise, but also specifically motion to the spine. The spine needs motion. Without healthy motion in the spine, it starts to degenerate, it starts to wear away. So I always ask people, I do lectures where I'll say, how many people here brush their teeth? Everyone raise their hand. How many people do something every day for their spine? Most people don't even think about it. So this is a small series of spinal hygiene exercises. It takes just a couple minutes to do, and it can really help improve the longevity of the spine, help to prevent some degeneration down the road as well. So we'll go ahead and we'll roll that video. Here we've attached a series of spinal hygiene exercises that we call Straighten Up America. Think of these exercises like brushing your teeth for your spine. The first three exercises we call the Flying Friends. The first one is the Eagle. Start with the arms to the side, slowly raise them up while you look up. Breathe in as you bring the arms up, and breathe out as you bring the arms down. Repeat this exercise 5 times. The second exercise is the Hummingbird. For the Hummingbird, we'll put our arms up to the side as Brandy is doing. Keep your ears back over your shoulders. Don't let your ears or chin come in front of the shoulders. Now slowly rotate your arms backward, squeezing the shoulder blades as you get to the back. Make sure to breathe the entire time. Now go to the side to side, slowly, and stretch. And back to the center, and keep this going while you do a count of 10. The next exercise is called the Butterfly. For the Butterfly, you'll bring your hands behind your head, again keeping your ears at your shoulder level or behind. Now slowly bring your head backward while giving some resistance with the hands to strengthen and stretch some of the muscles behind the neck. These were the Flying Friends. The next series of exercises we call the Stars. First we do the tilting star. Put your body in the shape of a star, and now slowly bend to the side. Slowly back to the other side. Make sure to breathe, and back to the middle. You'll repeat that 2 times, and go back to the middle in the shape of a star. The next exercise is the twirling star. This one you'll rotate at the waist, keeping your arms out and extended. Nice and slow while breathing, and repeat that 2 times as well. And back to the middle. The last one is the twisting star. For the twisting star, we'll put our body again in the shape of a star. Bring our arm to the opposite knee, like so. This one we'll repeat 15 times and return back to the middle. These exercises were the Stars. The last series are for core and balance. The first one of these will be the tightrope. For the tightrope, place one leg in front of the other, slightly bend the knee. Work on balancing. Never try this with a real rope. To make a little more stress on the core muscles, close your eyes while you do the tightrope. The next one is called slinging water. Bend your knees slightly and pretend like you're in a swimming pool, splashing water from side to side. The third exercise in this group is the triangle. For the triangle, spread the legs, put one arm on the knee, and bend to the side. And finally, the shakes. Just shake everything out, let everything loose again. So this series of exercises, which we call Straighten Up America, is to strengthen the core muscles around the spine, stretch the musculature in the neck and the upper back to work on our posture, and also to stretch and strengthen some of the muscles in the lower back as well. Hope you enjoy. So something so simple that took 3 minutes and 50 seconds to do, if people do that couple times a day can absolutely help improve overall health and specifically help to prevent some damage and degeneration in the spine. So we were just talking about as well things they can do at home, simple things like walking and how important walking is.
Well, many of my clients are busy working adults, and so they say to me they don't have time to exercise. I don't have time to go to the gym. So we designed a program with one of my clients to walk at lunchtime. So it did a couple of things. It helped brighten her mood. She got her exercise in, and she had tremendous improvements. The benefit of all of that was that she lost 5 pounds just by moving. What
Just
a
from walking
great
more. Nothing
habit.
dietary, just from walking
Just
more,
from
and
walking.
that is it.
Yes.
That's fantastic. And so we were talking as well about motion for our body and weight loss and how many people are obese and just need to walk, but also the joints themselves in the body need to have motion. I like to use the example of, the Tin Man from The Wizard of Oz. When he doesn't have motion, when the joints aren't well oiled, they start to freeze up. And when they start to freeze up, they start to rust. Basically what that would be in joints in the body, that rust is what arthritis is. Arthritis is a big flashy word. What it really means is the specific type, degenerative arthritis or osteoarthritis, as compared to rheumatoid, which we're not going to talk about today, which is more of chemical. But degenerative arthritis just means wear and tear. It wears out and degenerates faster than it should in a joint. So if there's no motion, whether it's a spinal joint, or whether it's a knee joint or an elbow joint, without that motion to it, it's going to start to rust. And then what happens is the body can develop what we call bone spurs as well, or what we call osteophytes, right?
Yeah, so osteophytes, what Dr. Adam was saying is what happens in the spine is if you do get this degeneration that occurs, so when you do movement's fantastic, not just for your overall well-being, but for your spine. There's discs in between each vertebra, and the discs consist of cartilaginous discs, and they need movement to give imbibition, which is a fancy term for water from in and out of the disc. So the more movement you have in the spine, the healthier the discs are. And what happens is if this degeneration does occur, the discs start wearing out, you get that osteoarthritis, and you get those bone spurs, and the bone spurs actually start putting pressure on the nerves that are coming out of the spine. So just by this lack of movement, so you don't have, the lack of movement causing the degeneration is also causing nervous interference. So movement is absolutely a wonderful thing. I mean,
So I like to think of those discs kind of like a sponge. Now, they don't have their own blood supply, so the way that they get the good things in, like you said, like water, minerals, and nutrients, is through that proper healthy movement and motion. Also, the way they get the bad things out, like scar tissue and inflammation and cellular debris, is again through proper healthy motion. And if we take that same wet sponge, nice and wet and pliable and movable, if we put it in water, it's immediately going to absorb. If you take it out of water and wrench it out, it's going to immediately drop it. If you run over that wet sponge, it's movable and pliable. It's going to poof right back up. But if you take a dried up, wrinkled up sponge and do the same thing, it's just going to stay flat. It's going to disintegrate. It's not going to last very long. And the same thing happens with the discs here in the spine. Without healthy motion, they become that dried up sponge. And then the body is so amazing and so intelligent that it recognizes instability around that joint and produces extra calcium deposits or bone spurs around the edges to help stop some of that. Unfortunately, those can eventually get so big they become bone on bone. They can cause severe pain, all sorts of chronic pains, and they can cause even nervous system interference. And that nervous system interference can cause a barrage of other different health problems depending on which nerve that it is and where it goes to. So healthy motion is extremely important. We always like to tell people there's a couple types of motion for a joint. Intersegmental motion, which is the type of motion we get as a chiropractor. We get one bone to move on the next. Then there's global motion, which is more like exercise in general, and the spinal hygiene type of exercise that we're moving all of the joints in the spine at the same time. Whereas a chiropractor, when we make an adjustment on a patient, we're moving individual bones to break up adhesion, keep that healthy motion, and more importantly, take pressure and keep pressure off of the nervous system. And so that's really why it's just really important to have both types of motion, not just one. And so with our patients, as we do the chiropractic adjustments and keep the spine moving healthy, we encourage them to do exercise at home, things like the spinal hygiene exercises, but again, also things just like walking. anything that we could do to help with cardiovascular exercise, with weight loss is fantastic for the body.
Another great thing about chiropractic is it's great for all ages. I mean, even if you're an elderly person that's already had years and years of degeneration in your spine and haven't had that motion and you do have the degeneration, I mean, we're not miracle workers. We're not going to be able to replace that disc that's been dried out for years and years. But what we like to do is we'll go in there and we'll give that chiropractic adjustment, which will stop the bone from continuing to degenerate. And that's the major thing. I mean, we get great results with pain, but also overall function of the spine because we're stopping that degenerative process.
And I'll see a lot of seniors that come into our office with severe arthritis, and I'll tell them the best time to take care of this would have been 30 years ago, but the next best time is today. At least we're catching it now and not years from now. And so that's why I'm a big advocate of prevention and wellness and maintenance rather than crisis or emergency care, where our country right now, our whole system is based on most people don't think about anything until they have symptoms or it's too late, until they know they have high blood pressure, until they are obese, until they have chronic pain. And so it's very important to think about these things beforehand. And even if they just do a little bit at a time, whether they see a chiropractor regularly or even if they just see sporadically, it's better than nothing at all. Whether they walk a little bit is way better than doing nothing at all. So that's what I want to encourage our audience today, that even if you just do a little bit, it's so much better for you years down the road than just waiting until there's a problem.
It's interesting that you talk about just a little bit. I love to help my clients create little changes, just a little change, like parking far away and walking a little bit, like seeing a chiropractor. Just a little slight adjustment will make huge changes or huge problems go away. So adding water, a little bit of exercise, things like that. Make it simple.
And you talk about water, and we were talking about that a little bit with the discs, because we talked about the discs in between the spine, which are mostly made up of water. But what else in the body is mostly made up of water?
All your organs, everything
is mostly made of water. So we need to have water. Most people are walking around in a constant state of dehydration. They just don't have the right amount of water. So something very simple to do is just carry a water bottle around. Drink more water on a regular basis. It can make a huge impact and a huge difference on people's lives, right?
Absolutely. I have even had a client who really thought a lot about this and decided that she was going to strategically place water bottles wherever she would be in her path of the day. So next to her bed, by the sink, in her car, in her office, and believe it or not, she actually feels so much better by being hydrated and actually doing it. It wasn't hard. She just put it right where she normally would be anyway.
Love it. And she probably, before that, was thirsty sometimes throughout the day and just didn't have water and didn't think about it and just went on her day. So, setting up habits like that can be fantastic. And we're going to show a little video for a second about motion in the spine, into the joints. When we come back, we'll get into, we'll start talking about setting good habits for our lifestyle as well. So we'll roll this video clip. We're going to see a digital motion x-ray, which is a really cool technology, something that we actually have in our office in Commerce Township that is really new technology and shows us a lot more than we could previously see from a static x-ray. Because like we said, we know motion is extremely important. So as you see the head goes forward, we see the things right in the back, which we call spinous processes. They fan apart, they open up. So this is actually a perfect neck. This person here has a really great neck. And what we'll see with the motion x-ray, as opposed to static, is we'll see which joints have some restriction. Whether there's a little misalignment or a lot of misalignment, we'll be able to see where there's actually dynamic or motion restriction and where some of the degeneration or arthritis that someone has may actually be pinching or pulling in that particular point of the range of motion. We see people come in all the time and say, it only hurts when I put my head down like this, or only when I put my head back like this. And now we can actually see exactly where it is, exactly where it's pinching, and that really helps us to be more specific in what we do and how to take some more pressure off of the spine. Just really cool technology that is now available.
I love this. I actually came to your office and had this done, and what an interesting way to see what was going on inside of my body, and I knew that I had something going on.
Absolutely. We can just see a lot more than we used to. So the technology, year by year, is really changing for healthcare, and it's amazing some of the things that we can do with the body.
Having actually x-rays that you can see the motion is real important, because if you taking a picture black and white and just seeing in one right there how it is right now, that's not exactly showing what the patient's doing overall throughout the day. I mean, having this motion x-ray, you can see, okay, if a patient says they have pain looking to the left or looking to the right, now I can take this motion x-ray and see, okay, what's happening now? Because, I mean, everything should be normal left to right. If I see you're looking to the left in this x-ray and all of a sudden it jams up, we can clearly see that, and we can put you in a specific position to correct that and adjust you in that position where the problem is actually occurring. So these motion x-rays have definitely advanced the profession in the right way.
And here we showed an example of what it looks like in a cervical spine or a neck x-ray motion, but we can do the same thing with shoulders, with lumbar spines, with knees, with ankles, with any other joint as well. We can take that same couple-second video to see where things are pinching. Just really cool technology, and we're glad to have it. We love to do it with our patients as well. So let's talk about, we were getting into forming habits, forming healthy habits for our lifestyle, whether it's doing the spinal hygiene exercises every day or placing water bottles around. And how does someone form a habit? How long does someone have to do something to make it a habit?
Great question. First of all, I recommend not trying to do a complete overhaul on your entire life. Don't do the all or nothing routine. Just one simple habit change will make a difference. It takes 28 days of consistent action to make that habit stick with you for a lifetime. So it's really important to do it and be repetitive about it. And that's why it's easier to do one habit instead of 15.
Start all those habits at
Right,
once, right?
exactly.
People know how hard it is to quit a bad habit, but it can be just as difficult to start a good habit, right?
Absolutely.
And just start a little bit at a time. You know, it's little easy good habits people can start, like we talked about, exercising, drink more water, even breathing, deeper breaths, just getting more oxygenation, doing diaphragmatic breathing in the morning can help to relax someone. In fact, the diaphragm is connected with the sympathetic nervous system, which controls what we call the fight or flight response. And so a lot of times when people get really stressed, blood can be pumped away from the digestive system, the reproductive system. The blood pressure can get raised and elevated. Insulin levels can change. This is a stress response, and it happens all the time. And a lot of times to combat that, even just simple things like diaphragmatic breathing can help calm the self, so the blood pressure can lower down, respiration rate can lower down, muscle can go, instead of just to the muscles, blood flow can go instead of just to the muscles, but back to the digestive system, the reproductive system, and can keep that person healthier and breathing and getting more oxygen flow constantly.
I love that, because you can do that anywhere. You can
Absolutely.
be driving down the road and somebody cuts you off and you're upset about it, and if you just step back and take some deep breaths, that will really help you calm down.
Absolutely.
And in anything, when you're eating, before you eat, please slow down and let your body relax into it. Yeah, I love the deep breathing.
So what are some other good habits that you guys notice that, that people can start on a daily basis to become healthier?
I mean, the easiest thing for me is like to start a habit. Once she said it only takes 4 weeks and it's going to change your life. I mean, 4 weeks is not a long time to know that you're going to get the benefits of a life-changing habit. Just early in the morning, when you're first thing out of bed, people have the habit of brushing your teeth. These little exercises that you can do while you're still in bed, just relaxing before you put your feet on the ground, just make sure you just take in the day and just do simple stretches and just get the body in motion before you take that first step out of bed. I mean, there's simple little exercises you can do, just looking ranges of motion that are just easy and going to benefit you throughout the whole day.
Absolutely. And you know, I use this analogy a lot. You said people get up in the morning, and most people are already in the habit of brushing their teeth every day. And dentistry has done a great job of educating the public on how important it is for prevention and maintenance of the teeth. Most people never think about that with the rest of their body until they have symptoms, or until, not necessarily too late, but it's too late to prevent some of the problems, whether they have now, you know, chronic diseases, systemic diseases, chronic pain, aches, you name it, all sorts of different symptoms as well. Most people don't think about it until it's too late. Now, if someone never did brush their teeth or floss or ever saw a dentist until their teeth were rotting away and they finally went in, of course, the dentist is going to say some of these are rotting away and need to be pulled. Some need to be filled, but a lot of them, it's too late for them. And unfortunately, we even see that with the spine. We see a lot of people come in, we take that dynamic motion x-ray, or take a regular x-ray on someone, static x-ray, and we see that the spine or some of the joints are literally just rotting away and decaying. And so little things, just like these habits, by keeping healthy motion, can help to start to prevent some degeneration. But also, just like people brush their teeth and floss at home and keep these regular habits, they also, it's very important to have regular checkups with their dental professional. And so the same thing here with professionals like a chiropractor or a professional like a health coach, to have some checkups just to see where they're at and to have maintenance done from a chiropractor.
Yes,
Right?
it's real important to make sure you see your chiropractor on a regular basis. I mean, people like to say, oh, you have to see your chiropractor for life. People see their dentist for life. People brush their teeth for life. It's the same thing. It's not dental hygiene, it's spinal hygiene. So it's real important to make sure that you go to a chiropractor, you get your spine checked to make sure that you don't have these problems that can lead to the secondary symptoms that we've talked about the degeneration and the pain.
Now, we always tell people in our office that we have 3 different types of patients. You know, we have some people that just want to come in every long once in a while just based on their pain. Every time they come in, they look like this. We work on them a couple times, we straighten them out. I may not see that person again for months or years. And if that's what their goals are, hey, I'm here to support them with their goals, absolutely. Our second type of patients, they do more of what we call corrective care. That's where they come in on a regular basis. We're going to make structural changes for the consistency of the muscles and the ligaments, the paraspinal or core muscles that are surrounding the spine. We're like braces on the teeth. It takes time and repetition to move the spine toward the normal position. And our third type of patients that we see in our office, we do what we call wellness or maintenance care. That's more of the preventative, just to keep the spine healthy. Usually people come in about twice a month for something like that. Anywhere from once a week to once a month is just a good frequency to get checked up and possibly have adjustments to keep the spine as healthy as they can.
Yeah, it's very important to just make sure that you go for your checkups, you make sure you see your chiropractor and continue with care if you need it. And if you don't, great, but make sure you definitely go to your chiropractor on a semi-regular basis. That's it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we just have a couple minutes. Let's just share a couple final thoughts and kind of review some of the things we talked about today. How easy it can be to get started changing small habits with motion, exercise, spinal motion for our joints and our nervous system. Little habits like drinking water on a more regular basis, because our body is mostly made up of water. Regular checkups to a chiropractor. Lots of different things we can do nutritionally as well. We'll talk about that next time we talk as well.
Great.
You guys have any other final thoughts you'd like to share with the studio audience?
I love the habit talk. That's a big one, and it's really easy to do. So keep it simple, easy, and fun.
It starts one thing at a time. You don't have to, run in your kitchen and clear every single thing out.
No.
One little thing at a time is a fantastic thing to do to start living a healthier lifestyle.
And I would just like to say, just keep moving. Motion in your spine, motion in your body. I mean, stay healthy, see your chiropractor, and live a strong, healthy, happy life.
Well, thank you both for joining us today.
Welcome.
Thank you guys for joining us today on Ask the Chiropractor. Again, I'm Dr. Adam Rodnick out of Commerce Township, Michigan. Remember that God gave you the gift of life, and what we do with that gift is our gift back to God. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time on Ask the Chiropractor. Many gifts.
That's all right. All right, what are we talking about next?